In the relentless pursuit of a competitive edge, most look outward, to new strategies, more resources, or advanced skills. Yet the most profound and sustainable advantage lies dormant within, sculpted by the very thoughts you entertain every moment. Imagine possessing an inner lever that once pulled could amplify your talents, sharpen your focus, and transform setbacks into strategic advantages. This isn't about a fleeting trick or a momentary boost. It's about fundamentally rewiring the very way you think to build a lasting competitive edge in every facet of your life. This journey will guide you to unlock that dormant power, to meticulously reshape your mental landscape so that your thoughts become your most potent ally. You will learn to cultivate a mindset that not only seeks growth, but thrives on challenge, turning every experience into a stepping stone towards greater achievement and influence. The power to gain this advantage is waiting to be unleashed. Thought Advantage. Rewire Your Mind for Competitive Edge, written and published by Brainpower Blueprint. Chapter 1. Unlock Your Thought Power. Have you ever wondered what truly separates high achievers from the rest? Those individuals who consistently seem to navigate challenges with grace, seize opportunities with confidence, and attain success that others only dream of. Often, the visible factors like talent, resources, or education only tell part of the story. The invisible, yet far more potent differentiator frequently lies in the way they harness the power of their own minds. Many people drift through life feeling like passengers in their own journey, tossed about by external circumstances or the seemingly random flow of their internal thoughts and emotions. They experience their thoughts as automatic, uninvited guests that dictate their mood, their decisions, and ultimately their results. This passive relationship with one's own mind is a significant, though often unrecognized, handicap in a competitive world. You might find yourself plagued by self-doubt before an important presentation, paralyzed by indecision when faced with a critical choice, or easily discouraged by initial setbacks. These aren't just fleeting bad moments. They are symptoms of untapped thought power, instances where your mental machinery is working against you, or at best, idling inefficiently. This lack of internal command leads to missed opportunities, squandered potential, and a constant feeling of being outmaneuvered by those who seem to possess an unshakable inner resolve. The core problem is the unawareness or underestimation of the profound influence your thoughts have on your actions and the reality you create, leaving your most powerful asset for achieving a competitive edge largely dormant. The transformative solution is to awaken to and consciously unlock your thought power, recognizing that your mind is not a passive recipient of experiences but an active creator of them, a dynamic force that can be intentionally directed to achieve specific outcomes and build a significant competitive advantage. This means shifting from being a mere spectator of your thoughts to becoming the deliberate commander of your mental landscape. The core idea here is that your thoughts are the invisible architects of your reality. They shape your perceptions, drive your behaviors, influence your emotional states, and ultimately determine your level of success. By learning to understand, direct, and cultivate your thoughts, you gain access to an immense source of internal power that can propel you forward regardless of external conditions. The benefits are extraordinary: enhanced focus, increased resilience, improved problem-solving skills, greater creativity, and the ability to maintain composure and clarity under pressure. You begin to operate from a position of inner strength, turning your mind into your most strategic ally in navigating the complexities of your personal and professional life. It's like discovering you have a master key that can unlock countless doors to opportunity and achievement. A key that was in your possession all along, but you never realized its true function or potential. This journey is about learning to use that key with skill and intention. The very first step in unlocking your thought power is to cultivate profound awareness of your current thought patterns. You cannot change what you are not aware of. Many of our thoughts, especially those that are habitual and repetitive, operate just below the level of conscious scrutiny. To bring them into the light, you need to practice mindful observation. This involves regularly stepping back and noticing your thoughts without immediately judging them or getting carried away by them. Ask yourself throughout the day, what am I thinking right now? What is the general tone of my inner dialogue? Is it critical, supportive, anxious, or calm? Are there recurring themes or preoccupations? You might try setting aside a few moments at different points in your day to simply observe the stream of your thoughts, like watching clouds pass in the sky. For example, when approaching a challenging task at work, you might notice a thought like, "This is too difficult for me," or "I'm going to fail." The simple act of noticing this thought, without immediately accepting it as truth, is the beginning of empowerment. Why this works is because awareness creates a space between you, the observer, and your thoughts. In this space lies the freedom to choose your response, rather than being automatically driven by unchecked mental habits. In practice, this could involve keeping a brief thought journal for a week, noting down recurring thoughts or feelings, especially those that precede important actions or decisions. Once you begin to develop this awareness, the next crucial step is to deeply understand the direct link between your thoughts, feelings, actions, and outcomes. Your thoughts are not isolated events. They trigger emotions. These emotions, in turn, heavily influence the actions you take or avoid, and your actions, consistently performed, create your results and your reality. For instance, if you consistently think thoughts of self-doubt, "I'm not capable," you will likely feel anxious or unmotivated. These feelings might lead you to avoid challenging projects or to perform suboptimally actions. The outcome could be missed promotions or a stagnant career. Conversely, if you cultivate thoughts of capability and resourcefulness, "I can learn this, I can find a way," you'll likely feel more confident and energized. This would lead to actions like taking initiative, persisting through difficulties, and seeking solutions, ultimately resulting in better performance and more opportunities. To internalize this link, reflect on a recent success and a recent setback. Trace back the outcome. What actions led to it? What feelings prompted those actions? And what thoughts underpinned those feelings? This analytical reflection helps to solidify your understanding that your outer world is often a mirror of your inner thought landscape. This principle works because it makes the invisible process of thought to outcome visible and understandable, giving you clear leverage points for change. Recognizing this chain reaction empowers you to intervene at the earliest point, the thought itself. The third essential element is to embrace the power of intentional thinking for a competitive edge. Unlocking your thought power isn't just about stopping negative thoughts. It's about actively cultivating and directing thoughts that serve your goals and give you an advantage. This means consciously choosing the mental narratives that will support your desired actions and outcomes. Before tackling an important task, a crucial meeting, or a competitive situation, take a few moments to intentionally set your mental state. Ask yourself, what kind of thinking will best serve me right now? What beliefs about myself and this situation will empower me to perform at my best? For example, if you're preparing for a negotiation, you might intentionally cultivate thoughts of confidence, preparedness, and mutual benefit, rather than allowing thoughts of potential conflict or inadequacy to dominate. This could involve using affirmations, visualization, or simply reminding yourself of past successes and relevant strengths. Consider an athlete before a major competition. Many top performers use visualization techniques, mentally rehearsing their performance flawlessly, thinking thoughts of strength, focus, and victory. This intentional mental preparation primes their mind and body for success. Why this is so effective is because intentional thinking helps to override automatic negative thought patterns and proactively creates a mental environment conducive to peak performance. It's about consciously directing your mental energy where you want it to go, rather than letting it scatter or work against you. Imagine two individuals, Alex and Ben, starting new roles in a competitive sales environment. Alex is largely unaware of his thought patterns. Before client calls, his mind races with thoughts like, what if they say no? What if I can't answer their questions? I'm probably not cut out for this. These thoughts create anxiety, leading him to be hesitant and less persuasive on calls, resulting in fewer sales. Ben, on the other hand, has started to unlock his thought power. He recognizes his initial anxious thoughts but consciously reframes them. He tells himself, "Each call is a learning opportunity. I am well prepared, and I can handle any question. I am here to provide value." He visualizes successful interactions. This intentional thinking boosts his confidence, making him more engaging and effective, leading to better sales figures and a stronger reputation. The difference isn't in their inherent sales ability, but in how they manage and direct their thoughts. Similarly, an entrepreneur facing a business downturn could allow thoughts of failure and despair to take over, leading to inaction. Or by unlocking thought power, they could intentionally focus on thoughts of resilience, innovation, and opportunity. What can we learn from this? How can we adapt? What new avenues can we explore, leading to proactive problem solving and a potential turnaround? Unlocking your thought power is the foundational step in gaining a true competitive advantage. It's about realizing that your mind, when consciously directed, is your most formidable asset. This initial awakening to your inner capabilities paves the way for more advanced techniques in reshaping your mental landscape. But what happens when this newfound awareness reveals deeply ingrained patterns of thinking that actively resist change? Patterns that tell you your abilities are fixed and unchangeable. Now that you've glimpsed the immense power residing within your thoughts, are you ready to confront and dismantle the primary mental barriers that keep this power locked away? Those stubborn, fixed mind patterns that limit your potential. Our next chapter will guide you to identify and systematically challenge these patterns, paving the way for unprecedented growth. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Challenge Fixed Mind Patterns. Imagine you're an explorer, equipped with a map that you believe shows all possible territories. You navigate confidently within its boundaries. But what if the map itself is incomplete, arbitrarily limiting your journey and convincing you that vast, fertile lands just beyond its edges are either non-existent or unreachable? This is precisely how a fixed mindset operates. Having unlocked an initial awareness of your thought power, you might now begin to notice certain pervasive thought patterns that tell you your intelligence, talents, and abilities are static, predetermined traits. You might hear an inner voice saying, "I'm just not good at math. I'll never be a confident public speaker. Or if I fail at this, it means I'm a failure." These are hallmarks of a fixed mindset, a belief system that assumes abilities are carved in stone. The problem is that this mindset, often operating subtly, acts as a powerful brake on your development and a significant barrier to achieving a competitive edge. It makes you shy away from challenges for fear of exposing your perceived limitations, interpret effort as a sign of inadequacy rather than a path to growth, and view setbacks as devastating proof of your incapacity. This internal narrative closes you off from learning, innovation, and the very resilience needed to succeed in a competitive world, effectively keeping you stuck within the limited confines of that old, incomplete map. The transformative solution is to actively cultivate a challenger mindset, one that relentlessly questions and disputes these ingrained fixed mind patterns, replacing them with the empowering understanding that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, the essence of a growth mindset. This involves becoming a vigilant detective of your own thoughts, specifically looking for those that suggest limitation and permanence, and then systematically dismantling them with evidence and new perspectives. The core idea is that a fixed mindset is not an immutable truth about you. It's a learned collection of beliefs, and anything learned can be unlearned and replaced. By challenging these patterns, you effectively redraw your mental map, opening up vast new territories for exploration and development. The benefits are a dramatic increase in your willingness to take on challenges, a newfound appreciation for the role of effort, significantly enhanced resilience in the face of failure, and a much greater capacity to learn and adapt, all critical components for gaining and sustaining a competitive advantage. It's like trading in your old restrictive map for a dynamic, ever-expanding GPS that reveals countless new routes to success. The first crucial step in challenging fixed mind patterns is to become adept at recognizing fixed mindset self-talk. This specific type of inner dialogue often surfaces when you're facing a challenge, considering a new endeavor, or after experiencing a setback. Listen for phrases that imply permanence and judgment about your core abilities. Examples include, "I'm either good at something or I'm not. This is too hard for me. I don't have the talent. If I don't get this right away, I never will. Failure is the limit of my abilities," or even when looking at successful people, "They're just naturally gifted." When you hear these thoughts, don't just accept them, flag them, mentally label them. That's a fixed mindset thought. For instance, if you're struggling to learn a new software program and the thought, "I'm just not tech savvy," arises, recognize it immediately as a product of a fixed mindset. Why this works is because recognition is the first step to de-identification. By labeling the thought, you create a mental distance from it, allowing you to observe it rather than automatically believe it. In practice, you could even make a game of catching these thoughts throughout your day, noting them down to become more familiar with your personal brand of fixed mindset messaging. Once you've become skilled at recognizing these thoughts, the next vital action is to systematically question the evidence supporting your fixed beliefs. Fixed mindset patterns thrive on unchallenged assumptions. Your role as a challenger is to put these assumptions on trial. When a thought like, "I'm not a creative person," appears, ask yourself, what concrete, irrefutable evidence supports this belief? Is it based on one past experience or someone else's opinion? Are there any instances, however small, where I have demonstrated creativity or problem-solving skills? Often you'll find that these deeply held beliefs are based on flimsy or outdated evidence. Conversely, actively seek and gather evidence of growth and change, both in yourself and others. Remind yourself of times you learned something new that was initially difficult. Think about skills you possess now that you didn't have years ago. Look at successful people and consider the effort, practice, and learning from failure that likely contributed to their achievements, rather than attributing it all to innate talent. For example, if you believe you're bad at networking, recall a time you made a new professional connection, even if it felt awkward. This deliberate search for counter-evidence helps to erode the certainty of the fixed belief. This process works because it introduces cognitive dissonance. Your mind is faced with contradictory evidence, which forces a reevaluation of the original belief. It's like a detective finding new clues that overturn an initial theory of a case. A powerful strategy for dismantling fixed patterns is to reframe your understanding of effort and failure. A fixed mindset views high effort as a sign that you lack natural ability. "If I were smart, I wouldn't have to try so hard," and sees failure as a definitive statement about your worth or talent. The challenger mindset reframes effort as the essential process through which abilities are built and cultivated. It's the path to mastery. When you find yourself exerting significant effort, consciously tell yourself, "This hard work is expanding my capabilities." This is how growth happens. Similarly, reframe failure not as an endpoint, but as valuable data. Feedback that provides crucial information about what didn't work and what you can learn for next time. After a setback, instead of thinking "I'm a failure," ask, "What can I learn from this experience? What adjustments can I make moving forward?" For instance, if a project you led didn't meet its targets, instead of concluding you're not a good leader, analyze the process, the team dynamics, the external factors, and identify specific lessons that will make you a more effective leader in the future. This shift works because it changes your emotional and cognitive response to these common experiences. Effort becomes empowering, and failure becomes informative rather than devastating, allowing you to persist and learn, key ingredients for competitive success. Consider Maria, a talented graphic designer who consistently avoided pitching for larger, more prestigious projects. Her fixed mindset whispered, "You're good, but not that good. Those projects are for truly exceptional designers." She recognized this as fixed mindset self-talk. She then challenged it by asking, "What evidence do I have that I'm not capable? My current clients are happy, and I've successfully completed complex work." She gathered evidence of her growth by looking at her portfolio from 5 years ago and seeing how much her skills had improved. She reframed effort. Learning how to pitch for bigger projects will be hard work, but that effort will make me a better designer and businesswoman. When her first few pitches for larger projects weren't successful, she didn't see it as proof of her inadequacy, but asked, "What can I learn from the feedback? How can I improve my proposal next time?" This challenger mindset allowed her to break through her self-imposed limitations and start competing for and winning bigger contracts. Or think of David, a student terrified of a calculus course because he believed, "I'm just not a math person." He caught this fixed belief and started challenging it. He reminded himself he'd learned difficult things before. He reframed the hours of study not as proof of his lack of aptitude, but as the necessary investment to build his understanding. When he struggled with concepts, he saw it not as hitting a wall, but as identifying areas where he needed to focus more or seek help, thereby turning struggle into a strategy for learning. Challenging fixed mind patterns is an ongoing act of mental vigilance and courage. It requires you to consciously choose a different interpretation of your experiences, to lean into discomfort, and to embrace the journey of continuous development. This process fundamentally alters your relationship with yourself and your potential, laying the groundwork for a mindset that truly thrives on growth. But how do you maintain this growth orientation when the pressure mounts and the stakes are high? Now that you are equipped to challenge and dismantle the fixed patterns that hold you back, are you ready to learn how to not just cope with pressure, but to actively use it as a furnace to forge even greater strength and accelerate your growth? The next chapter will explore how to embrace growth even and especially when you're under pressure. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. Embrace growth under pressure. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The raw metal is heated to an intense temperature in the furnace, then hammered repeatedly on the anvil. It's through this very process of extreme heat and intense pressure that the metal is transformed from a rough, shapeless lump into a strong, resilient, and precisely shaped blade. Similarly, moments of high pressure in our lives, critical deadlines, important presentations, competitive challenges, or unexpected crises can either break us or forge us into something stronger and more capable. Many individuals, even those who have begun to challenge fixed mindsets, find that their growth orientation falters when the pressure intensifies. The problem is that under duress, the natural human tendency can be to revert to survival mode, where the focus narrows to simply getting through the situation, often at the expense of learning or long-term development. Performance anxiety can spike. Decision-making can become clouded, and old, unhelpful thought patterns can resurface with a vengeance. You might feel overwhelmed, your creativity might plummet, and your ability to think clearly and strategically can be severely compromised. In such states, the idea of embracing growth can seem like a distant luxury when you're just trying to keep your head above water. This inability to harness pressure for growth means missing out on some of the most potent opportunities for accelerated development and losing a significant competitive edge. The transformative solution is to cultivate the mindset of a pressure alchemist, learning to consciously transmute the intense energy of pressure situations from a source of stress and potential derailment into a powerful catalyst for heightened focus, accelerated learning, and peak performance. This means shifting your fundamental perception of pressure, seeing it not merely as something to be endured or survived, but as a unique opportunity to stretch your capabilities, test your resilience, and discover new strengths. The core idea is that pressure, when approached with the right mindset and strategies, provides a condensed learning environment where lessons are learned more quickly and skills are honed more rapidly. By learning to embrace growth under pressure, you not only perform better in high-stakes moments, but also emerge from them significantly more competent and confident. The benefits are a dramatic improvement in your ability to handle stress, make effective decisions in challenging circumstances, innovate under constraints, and consistently perform at your best when it matters most, all crucial for maintaining a competitive advantage. It's like the blacksmith who doesn't fear the heat of the forge, but understands it as the essential condition for creating something of exceptional quality and strength. The first step in becoming a pressure alchemist is to reframe your perception of pressure itself. Often, it's not the external situation alone that causes distress, but our interpretation of it. If you view pressure as a threat, a sign that something terrible might happen, that your reputation is on the line, or that you might fail catastrophically, your body's stress response will go into overdrive, impairing your cognitive functions. Instead, consciously reframe pressure as a challenge or an opportunity. See it as a sign that you're engaged in something meaningful, that you're pushing your boundaries, and that you have a chance to demonstrate your capabilities and learn something valuable. Ask yourself, what opportunity does this pressure present for me to grow? How can this situation help me become better? For instance, if you're facing a tight deadline for a critical project, instead of thinking, "I'll never get this done, this is a disaster," try reframing it as, "This is a chance to test my efficiency, prioritization skills, and ability to deliver under pressure. I will learn a lot about my capacity." This shift in perception works because it changes your physiological and psychological response. Approaching pressure as a challenge activates a more adaptive stress response, often characterized by increased focus and energy rather than fear and paralysis. A second vital strategy is to anchor yourself by focusing on controllables and process, not just outcomes. Under pressure, it's easy to become fixated on the desired outcome, e.g., winning the deal, acing the exam, and the potential negative consequences of not achieving it. This fixation can amplify anxiety and distract you from the actions needed to succeed. Instead, deliberately shift your focus to what you can control: your effort, your preparation, your attitude, your immediate actions, and on the process of executing your plan. Break down the overwhelming challenge into smaller, manageable steps and concentrate on performing each step to the best of your ability. For example, if you're giving a high-stakes presentation, instead of obsessing over whether the audience will love it, focus on delivering your opening clearly, explaining your key points effectively, and managing your time well for each section. This approach works because it brings your attention to the present moment and to actionable behaviors, reducing anxiety about future uncertainties and giving you a sense of agency. It allows you to channel the energy of pressure into productive activity rather than worry. In practice, before entering a pressure situation, clearly identify the 2-3 key process points you will focus on. Thirdly, learn to actively extract lessons during and after high-pressure situations. Pressure cookers are intense learning environments. The heightened stakes mean that mistakes and successes are often magnified, providing rich data for growth if you're open to seeing it. During the situation, try to maintain a sliver of observer awareness, noticing what's working, what's not, and how you're responding. After the event, regardless of the outcome, conduct a constructive debrief with yourself or trusted colleagues. Ask, what went well? What challenges did I face? How did I handle them? What did I learn about myself or the situation? What would I do differently next time? This isn't about self-criticism, but about objective analysis for future improvement. For instance, if a negotiation under pressure didn't go as planned, instead of just feeling bad, analyze your strategy, your communication, your understanding of the other party's needs, and pinpoint specific takeaways. This practice works because it ensures that every pressure situation, win or lose, contributes to your long-term development and makes you better equipped for the next one. It turns experience, especially challenging experience, into wisdom. Finally, it's crucial to manage your physiological response to stress so you can think clearly under pressure. Intense pressure triggers the body's fight-or-flight response, releasing adrenaline and cortisol, which can impair higher-level thinking if not managed. Simple techniques can help regulate this. Deep controlled breathing, e.g. box breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting calmness. Short bursts of physical activity before a pressure situation can help dissipate excess nervous energy. Mindfulness practices can help you stay grounded and less reactive to a racing heart or tense muscles. For example, before stepping into an important interview, taking a few minutes to practice deep breathing can significantly lower your anxiety and improve your mental clarity. This works because it directly influences your body's stress chemistry, creating a more favorable internal state for optimal performance and learning. Consider Anya, a surgeon who regularly faces life or death situations. Initially, the pressure was immense. She learned to reframe it. This pressure means I have the skill and responsibility to save a life. It's an opportunity to use my training to the fullest. In the operating room, she focuses intensely on each step of the procedure, the process, not on the overwhelming potential outcomes. After every complex surgery, she debriefs with her team, analyzing what went well and what could be improved, ensuring continuous learning. She uses controlled breathing techniques to maintain calm and focus during critical moments. This approach allows her to not only perform exceptionally under pressure, but also to constantly refine her skills. Or think of Mark, a team leader whose company was facing a sudden market disruption. Instead of panicking, he reframed the situation as a challenge. This is our chance to innovate and show our resilience. He focused his team on controllable actions, analyzing the new market conditions, brainstorming adaptive strategies, and executing small pilot projects. He encouraged open discussion about what they were learning from the rapidly changing environment, even from missteps. This pressure alchemist approach helped his team navigate the crisis and emerge stronger. Embracing growth under pressure is about transforming your relationship with challenging situations. It's about recognizing these moments not as threats to be feared, but as crucibles that can forge extraordinary strength, skill, and resilience, giving you a distinct advantage when it truly counts. But to truly capitalize on these growth opportunities and navigate a complex world, one more mental attribute is essential: the ability to think flexibly and adapt on the fly. Now that you're learning to harness pressure for growth, are you prepared to cultivate the mental agility required to pivot, adapt, and thrive in constantly shifting environments, ensuring your competitive edge is never blunted by rigid thinking? The next chapter delves into building daily mental flexibility. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4. Build mental flexibility daily. Imagine you are a captain navigating a ship across a vast, unpredictable ocean. A rigid, unyielding adherence to a single, predetermined course, regardless of shifting winds, currents, or unforeseen obstacles, would almost certainly lead to disaster or, at best, significant delays. Success, and indeed survival, depends on the captain's ability to constantly assess conditions, adjust the sails, and deftly alter course. In today's rapidly changing personal and professional landscapes, your mind is that ship, and mental flexibility is your capacity to navigate effectively. You might have begun to unlock your thought power, challenge fixed mindsets, and even embrace growth under pressure, yet still find yourself struggling when faced with unexpected changes or perspectives that clash with your own. The problem of mental rigidity, an attachment to set ways of thinking, an inability to easily switch cognitive gears, or a strong resistance to new ideas, can severely limit your ability to adapt, innovate, and maintain a competitive edge. You might find yourself becoming frustrated when plans go awry, struggling to understand viewpoints different from your own, or repeatedly applying old solutions to new problems with diminishing returns. This cognitive inflexibility can make you slow to respond to emerging opportunities, vulnerable to disruption, and less effective in collaborative efforts, ultimately hindering your progress in a world that increasingly rewards adaptability. The transformative solution is to commit to building mental flexibility daily, consciously training your mind to become more agile, open, and adaptive, much like an athlete trains their body for suppleness and responsiveness. This involves intentionally engaging in practices that stretch your cognitive boundaries, encourage diverse ways of thinking, and help you become more comfortable with ambiguity and change. The core idea is that mental flexibility is not an innate trait, but a skill that can be cultivated and significantly improved with consistent effort. By making this a daily focus, you develop the capacity to pivot quickly, consider multiple viewpoints, generate creative solutions, and learn more effectively from a wider range of experiences. The benefits are a marked improvement in your problem-solving abilities, enhanced creativity, greater resilience in the face of uncertainty, better interpersonal understanding, and a superior ability to seize opportunities in dynamic environments, all crucial for a sustained thought advantage. It's like transforming your mind from a narrow, fixed track into a highly adaptable, all-terrain vehicle capable of navigating any landscape with confidence and skill. A foundational practice for cultivating mental flexibility is to deliberately expose yourself to and engage with diverse perspectives. We naturally gravitate towards information and people that confirm our existing beliefs, creating echo chambers that reinforce rigid thinking. To counteract this, make a conscious effort to seek out and thoughtfully consider viewpoints that differ from or even challenge your own. This could involve reading books or articles from authors with whom you typically disagree, listening to podcasts that explore different cultural or political viewpoints, or actively engaging in respectful conversations with people who have different backgrounds and experiences. When you encounter a different perspective, don't immediately try to refute it. Instead, try to understand the underlying logic, values, or experiences that might lead someone to that conclusion. Ask clarifying questions. For instance, if a colleague proposes a strategy that seems counterintuitive to you, rather than dismissing it, say, "That's an interesting approach. Can you walk me through your thinking on that?" This practice works because it forces your brain to consider alternative mental models, breaking down ingrained assumptions and expanding your capacity for understanding complex issues from multiple angles. It helps you see that there are often many valid ways to look at a situation. Another powerful technique is to regularly practice what-if scenario planning and cognitive restructuring. This involves taking a current problem, challenge, or even a strongly held belief and actively brainstorming alternative scenarios or interpretations. For competitive situations, this might mean thinking like your competitor. What if my competitor does X? How would I respond? Or what if my current strategy fails? What are my backup plans? For personal beliefs, it might mean asking, what if the opposite of what I believe were true? What would that look like? This isn't about succumbing to worry, but about strategically exploring possibilities to enhance preparedness and break free from linear thinking. Cognitive restructuring, a technique often used in cognitive behavioral therapy, involves identifying an unhelpful thought, examining the evidence for and against it, and then generating a more balanced or helpful alternative thought. For example, if you think, "There's only one right way to do this project," you could challenge this by brainstorming 3 other viable approaches. This works because it trains your brain to move beyond its default pathways, to explore alternatives, and to become more comfortable with nuanced and multifaceted realities rather than simplistic, binary thinking. Embracing novelty and engaging in continuous cross-disciplinary learning is also key to building mental flexibility. When you learn something new, especially if it's outside your immediate field of expertise, you create new neural connections and develop new ways of processing information. Try to learn about different industries, scientific concepts, artistic movements, or historical periods. Notice how problems are solved in different fields. What principles or frameworks do they use that you could adapt to your own challenges? For example, a business leader might gain insights into team dynamics by studying symphony orchestras, or an engineer might spark creative solutions by learning about biomimicry, innovation inspired by nature. This cross-pollination of ideas is a powerful antidote to rigid, siloed thinking. This strategy is effective because it introduces your brain to diverse problem-solving toolkits and mental models, increasing your cognitive repertoire and your ability to make novel connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. In practice, you could dedicate a small amount of time each week to exploring a topic completely new to you, or join a discussion group with people from different professional backgrounds. Furthermore, it's essential to cultivate comfort with ambiguity and imperfection. A rigid mind often craves certainty, clear rules, and perfect outcomes, becoming stressed or paralyzed when these are absent. Mental flexibility, however, thrives in nuanced situations. Practice allowing problems or situations to be messy for a while without rushing to a premature conclusion or a perfect solution. Allow yourself to experiment and iterate, understanding that the first attempt doesn't need to be flawless. This is particularly relevant in creative processes or when dealing with complex, evolving challenges where the right answer may not be immediately apparent. For example, when starting a new project, instead of trying to plan every detail perfectly from the outset, you might start with a rough outline and allow the plan to evolve as you learn more. This works because it reduces the anxiety associated with uncertainty and perfectionism, freeing up cognitive resources for exploration and creative problem-solving. It allows for emergent strategies rather than rigidly imposed ones. Consider Sarah, a marketing manager who was initially resistant to new social media platforms, preferring the traditional channels she was comfortable with. To build mental flexibility, she started by dedicating 30 minutes each day to exploring one new platform, not as an expert, but as a curious learner. She followed thought leaders who championed these new approaches and tried to understand their reasoning. She then ran small, low-risk experimental campaigns on these platforms, reframing failures as data collection. This willingness to step outside her comfort zone and adapt her thinking helped her team stay ahead of competitors. Or imagine Tom, an engineer known for his meticulous but sometimes slow problem-solving. He practiced mental flexibility by, when faced with a technical challenge, forcing himself to brainstorm at least 5 different potential solutions, even if some seemed unconventional. He also started pairing with a more intuitively minded colleague on certain tasks to expose himself to different problem-solving styles. This not only sped up his work, but also led to more innovative outcomes. Building mental flexibility isn't about abandoning your core principles or becoming indecisive. It's about expanding your mental toolkit so you can approach any situation with a broader range of perspectives and strategies, enabling you to adapt, innovate, and maintain your competitive advantage in a world that never stands still. This cognitive agility ensures that your thought power is always applied in the most effective way, regardless of the shifting terrain. But how do you ensure that this flexible, growth-oriented mind remains sharply focused and driven towards your most important objectives? Having cultivated a mind that is both growth-oriented and flexible, are you now ready to learn how to channel that enhanced mental capacity with unwavering focus and sustained drive, ensuring you can pursue your most ambitious goals with relentless precision? The next chapter will equip you with strategies to strengthen these crucial components of your thought advantage. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5. Strengthen Focus and Drive. Imagine a powerful magnifying glass concentrating the sun's rays onto a single point. What was once diffuse, gentle warmth becomes an intense, focused beam capable of igniting a fire. Similarly, your mental energy, when scattered and unfocused, achieves little of significance. But when concentrated with unwavering focus and propelled by potent drive, it becomes a formidable force capable of igniting extraordinary achievements and securing a decisive competitive edge. You've embarked on a journey to unlock your thought power, challenge limiting mindsets, embrace growth under pressure, and build mental flexibility. Yet, even with these enhanced capabilities, you might find your progress hampered by a modern epidemic, a fractured attention span, and an inconsistent internal drive. The problem many face is an inability to sustain deep concentration amidst a barrage of digital distractions and internal mental chatter, coupled with a motivational flame that flickers erratically rather than burning with a steady, intense heat. You might start projects with enthusiasm, only to find your focus pulled in a dozen directions, or your initial motivation wanes when faced with tedious tasks or prolonged effort. This diluted focus and inconsistent drive can lead to an inability to produce your best work, missed deadlines, and a frustrating gap between your potential and your actual accomplishments, ultimately eroding your competitive standing in a world that rewards deep work and sustained effort. The transformative solution is to consciously cultivate laser-focused propulsion, a dynamic combination of unshakable concentration and deeply rooted intrinsic drive that enables you to pursue your objectives with unwavering precision and relentless energy. This means mastering the art of directing your attention purposefully and tapping into the wellsprings of motivation that fuel long-term persistence, even in the face of obstacles or monotony. The core idea is that focus and drive are not fixed traits, but trainable skills that can be systematically strengthened. By developing these capacities, you transform your mind into a high-performance engine, capable of engaging in deep, productive work for extended periods and maintaining momentum towards your most ambitious goals. The benefits are a dramatic increase in your productivity, the quality of your output, your ability to master complex skills more rapidly, and a profound sense of accomplishment and control, all vital for outpacing the competition and achieving meaningful success. It's like upgrading from a scattered floodlight to a powerful, pinpoint laser beam, capable of cutting through distractions and hitting your targets with unparalleled accuracy. The first crucial step in strengthening your focus is to identify and systematically manage your distractions. In today's hyper-connected world, distractions are abundant, both external, notifications, noise, interruptions, and internal, wandering thoughts, worries, anxieties. To achieve laser-like focus, you must become a vigilant gatekeeper of your attention. Begin by identifying your primary distractors. For 1 week, keep a distraction log, noting what pulls your attention away when you're trying to concentrate. Once identified, create strategies to mitigate them. For external distractions, this might involve turning off notifications on your phone and computer during focused work blocks, using noise-canceling headphones, or communicating your need for uninterrupted time to colleagues or family. For internal distractions, mindfulness practices can help you notice when your mind wanders and gently bring it back without judgment. Techniques like the Pomodoro technique, working in focused 25-minute intervals with short breaks, can also train your attention span. This works because by consciously reducing the stimuli competing for your attention, you create a mental environment more conducive to deep concentration. It's about creating a sacred space for your mind to do its best work. Once you've begun to manage distractions, the next step is to cultivate the capacity for deep work and flow states. Deep work refers to the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task, pushing your abilities to their limit. This is where high-quality creative output happens. A flow state is that optimal experience where you are fully immersed and energized by an activity, losing track of time. To cultivate deep work, schedule dedicated, uninterrupted blocks of time in your day for your most important, high-concentration tasks. Treat these appointments with yourself as seriously as you would an important meeting. Gradually increase the duration of these blocks as your focus improves. To encourage flow, ensure the task is challenging but within your capabilities, that you have clear goals for the session, and that you can receive immediate feedback on your progress, even if it's just seeing words appear on a page or a problem getting solved. This practice works because it trains your brain to sustain concentration for longer periods and engage more fully with complex tasks, leading to breakthroughs and superior quality work which are hallmarks of a competitive performer. Parallel to strengthening focus, you must actively nourish and sustain your inner drive. Drive, or motivation, is the fuel for sustained effort. While external rewards can be motivating, intrinsic drive, motivation that comes from within, driven by interest, purpose, or a sense of mastery, is far more powerful and sustainable. To tap into this, connect your tasks and goals to your deeper values and sense of purpose. Ask yourself, why is this important to me? How does this align with what I truly care about? What impact do I want to make? When you understand the why behind your efforts, the how becomes more energized. Break down large, daunting goals into smaller, achievable milestones. Achieving these smaller wins provides a sense of progress and accomplishment, which fuels further motivation. Visualize your success regularly and vividly. Imagine the feeling of achieving your goal, the positive impact it will have. This mental rehearsal can significantly boost your drive. This approach is effective because it connects your daily actions to a larger, more meaningful context, transforming chores into purposeful steps and igniting a self-sustaining motivational fire. Furthermore, build discipline as a habit, not just a feeling. Motivation can be fickle. It comes and goes. Discipline, however, is about showing up and putting in the effort even when you don't feel like it. Treat discipline like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Start with small, consistent acts of discipline in areas of your life. For instance, commit to a specific morning routine or to working on your most important task for just 30 minutes before checking email. When you successfully follow through, acknowledge it. This builds a track record of self-control and reinforces the identity of someone who is disciplined. This works because consistent action, even in small doses, builds momentum and rewires your brain to favor disciplined behavior. Over time, what starts as forced discipline can evolve into an almost automatic habit, ensuring you stay on track towards your competitive goals even when inspiration is low. Consider an entrepreneur, Lisa, trying to launch a new tech startup. The distractions were immense. Constant emails, industry noise, self-doubt. Her drive often wavered amidst the uncertainty. She began by scheduling 2-hour deep work blocks every morning, turning off all notifications to focus solely on product development. She reconnected with her core why, her passion for solving a specific problem in the market, and visualized the positive impact her product would have. She broke down the overwhelming task of launching into weekly, achievable milestones, celebrating each small win, like completing a feature or getting positive user feedback. When motivation dipped, her disciplined habit of showing up for those morning deep work sessions kept her moving forward. This combination of strengthened focus and reignited drive allowed her to build a competitive product and successfully launch her company. Or think of James, a writer facing a deadline for a complex novel. He identified his main distraction as social media. He used an app to block these sites during his writing hours. He cultivated flow by setting a daily word count goal and immersing himself in the world of his characters. His drive was fueled by his deep love for storytelling and the desire to connect with readers. His disciplined writing schedule, even on days he felt uninspired, ensured consistent progress, allowing him to complete a high-quality manuscript on time. Strengthening your focus and drive is about taking deliberate control over your attention and your motivational energy. These are not passive attributes, but active skills you can hone to achieve a significant thought advantage, enabling you to out-concentrate, outperform, and out-persist your competition. But what happens when the stakes are exceptionally high, when a single decision or performance can make or break your competitive standing? Having learned to concentrate your mental energy and fuel your efforts with sustained drive, are you now prepared to master your thinking in those critical, high-pressure moments where clarity, decisiveness, and composure are paramount to seizing a competitive advantage? The next chapter will guide you through the art of high-stakes thinking. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Master High-Stakes Thinking. Imagine a tightrope walker suspended high above a chasm, a single misstep leading to a dramatic fall. Or picture a chess grandmaster in the final moments of a championship match, every move carrying the weight of the entire game. These are quintessential high-stakes situations where the pressure is immense, and the quality of thinking and decision-making is paramount. In your own personal and professional life, you inevitably encounter similar high-stakes moments. A crucial job interview, a make-or-break business negotiation, a critical presentation to stakeholders, or a time-sensitive decision with significant consequences. While you've been developing your thought power, challenging fixed mindsets, embracing growth under pressure, building mental flexibility, and strengthening your focus and drive, the unique intensity of truly high-stakes scenarios can still derail even well-prepared individuals. The problem is that under extreme pressure, cognitive biases can become amplified, emotional reactivity can hijack rational thought, and the fear of failure can lead to indecision or impulsive actions. You might find your mind going blank, your judgment clouded, or your ability to access your skills and knowledge severely impaired, leading to suboptimal outcomes and a loss of competitive advantage when it matters most. The transformative solution is to cultivate an apex predator mindset for critical moments, developing the capacity for exceptional clarity, incisive decisiveness, and unshakable composure when the pressure is at its peak and the consequences are significant. This isn't about eliminating pressure or fear, but about learning to think and perform effectively with them, using the heightened awareness of a high-stakes situation to sharpen your mental faculties rather than dull them. The core idea is that high-stakes thinking is a specialized skill set that can be learned and honed through deliberate practice and the application of specific mental strategies. By mastering this, you gain the ability to consistently make sound judgments, execute complex tasks flawlessly, and maintain strategic advantage in situations where others might falter. The benefits are a profound increase in your confidence to handle critical challenges, a reputation for being reliable and effective under pressure, and the ability to consistently seize opportunities and mitigate risks in pivotal moments, solidifying your competitive edge. It's like being the seasoned pilot who can navigate severe turbulence with calm precision, ensuring a safe landing while others might panic. A foundational element of mastering high-stakes thinking is advanced stress inoculation and emotional regulation. Just as vaccines expose the body to a weakened virus to build immunity, stress inoculation involves gradually exposing yourself to pressure in controlled environments to build psychological resilience. This could involve practicing presentations in front of critical audiences, participating in simulations of high-stakes negotiations, or deliberately taking on challenging tasks that push you slightly out of your comfort zone. During these practice scenarios, and in real high-stakes situations, actively practice emotional regulation techniques. Techniques like tactical breathing, e.g. the 4x4 method mentioned earlier, mindfulness, and cognitive reframing, reinterpreting stress symptoms like a racing heart as signs of your body gearing up for optimal performance rather than signs of panic, are crucial. For example, a firefighter undergoes rigorous training simulations that mimic the chaos and danger of a real fire, allowing them to practice their skills and decision-making under extreme duress so that their responses become more automatic and less prone to emotional hijacking. This works because repeated exposure to manageable stress helps to desensitize your fear response and automates effective coping mechanisms, allowing your rational brain to stay online even when the pressure is intense. Next, develop the capacity for rapid situational assessment and decisive action. High-stakes situations often require quick, accurate assessments and timely decisions. One useful, simplified framework, often adapted from military strategy, is to observe, orient, decide, act, ODA. Observe, quickly gather the critical information about the situation. What are the key facts? What is changing? Orient. Analyze this information within the context of your goals, your values, and potential biases. What does this information mean? What are the potential implications? What are my viable options? Decide. Choose the best course of action based on your orientation, even if it involves uncertainty. Avoid analysis paralysis. Act. Implement your decision swiftly and confidently. After acting, loop back to observe the results and reorient as needed. For instance, a CEO facing a sudden PR crisis must quickly observe the media landscape and public sentiment, orient by considering the company's values and potential damage, decide on a communication strategy, and then act decisively to issue a statement and take corrective measures. This framework provides a structured approach to thinking clearly and acting effectively under pressure, preventing overwhelm and promoting agile responsiveness, which is vital for staying ahead competitively. Mastering high-stakes thinking also involves systematic pre-mortem and post-mortem analysis. Before a significant high-stakes event, conduct a pre-mortem. Imagine that the event has already happened and it failed spectacularly. Then, work backward to identify all the potential reasons for that failure. This proactive identification of potential pitfalls allows you to develop contingency plans and mitigate risks before they materialize. For example, before launching a major product, a team might conduct a pre-mortem to anticipate potential technical glitches, marketing missteps, or competitor responses, and then build safeguards. Conversely, after every high-stakes event, regardless of success or failure, conduct a thorough post-mortem or after-action review. What were the objectives? What actually happened? Why was there a difference? What was learned? What will be done differently next time? This reflective practice ensures that every high-stakes experience, positive or negative, contributes to your learning and improves your future performance. This works because it institutionalizes learning from both imagined failures and actual experiences, continuously refining your strategies and decision-making capabilities for future critical encounters. Finally, cultivate unwavering focus on the critical variables. In any high-stakes situation, there are myriad details and potential distractions. The ability to filter out the noise and concentrate on the 2 to 3 factors that will most significantly impact the outcome is crucial. This requires clarity on your ultimate objective and an understanding of the key leverage points. For example, during a complex negotiation, while there might be many minor points of contention, an expert negotiator will keep their focus on the core interests of both parties and the few deal-breaking terms. This prevents getting bogged down in trivialities and allows for more strategic allocation of mental energy. This skill is developed through experience, preparation, knowing what truly matters beforehand, and the ability to stay mentally disciplined amidst chaos. It's about maintaining strategic oversight even when tactical pressures are intense. This enhances efficiency and effectiveness, enabling you to direct your efforts where they will have the most competitive impact. Consider a political candidate in a live, televised debate. This is a high-stakes environment where every word and gesture is scrutinized. The candidate who masters high-stakes thinking will have practiced stress inoculation through mock debates. They will use breathing techniques to stay calm. When an unexpected question arises, they will quickly observe the nuance, orient based on their campaign platform and opponent's weaknesses, decide on a concise and impactful response, and act by delivering it confidently. They would have conducted pre-mortems, e.g., what if my opponent attacks me on X issue? And will conduct post-mortems to refine their strategy for future debates. Their focus will remain on delivering their key messages, despite attempts by opponents to distract or derail them. This comprehensive approach to high-stakes thinking allows them to perform optimally and gain an advantage. Mastering high-stakes thinking is about transforming pressure from an inhibitor into an amplifier of your best abilities. It's about building the mental fortitude and strategic acuity to navigate critical moments with confidence and precision, ensuring that when everything is on the line, your thinking gives you the decisive edge. But how do you ensure that this powerful, adaptable, and pressure-tested mindset is consistently aligned with your most important long-term goals? Now that you are adept at thinking clearly and decisively under pressure, are you ready to ensure that your entire mindset, your beliefs, your daily thoughts, and your mental habits is perfectly synchronized with your most ambitious goals, creating an unstoppable momentum towards achieving them? The next chapter explores the critical art of aligning your mindset with your goals. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 7. Align Mindset with Goals. Imagine an archer aiming at a distant target. They might possess a state-of-the-art bow, flawless technique, and incredible strength. But if their aim is slightly off, if their gaze is not perfectly aligned with the bullseye, the arrow will inevitably miss its mark, or at best, land only peripherally. Similarly, in your pursuit of a competitive edge, you may have diligently worked to unlock your thought power, challenge fixed patterns, embrace growth under pressure, build mental flexibility, strengthen focus, and master high-stakes thinking. Yet if this powerful mental machinery isn't precisely aligned with your most important goals, your efforts can become scattered, diluted, or even counterproductive. The problem many ambitious individuals face is a subtle but critical misalignment between their stated aspirations and their underlying mindset, their core beliefs, daily thought habits, and emotional tendencies. You might consciously desire a certain level of career success, for example, but subconsciously harbor fears of failure, feelings of inadequacy, imposter syndrome, or conflicting beliefs about wealth or leadership. This internal dissonance creates friction, slows progress, and can lead to self-sabotage, preventing you from achieving the very outcomes you strive for and undermining your competitive potential despite your best efforts. The transformative solution is to cultivate goal mindset congruence, a state where your internal mental landscape, your beliefs, assumptions, self-talk, and emotional responses is deliberately architected and meticulously synchronized to fully support and actively propel you towards your clearly defined competitive goals. This involves a deep and honest examination of both your goals and your current mindset, identifying any points of misalignment, and then systematically rewiring your thinking to create a powerful internal coherence that fuels unwavering action. The core idea is that when your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are all pulling in the same direction as your stated intentions, you create an incredibly powerful, almost unstoppable force for achievement. The benefits are a significant reduction in internal conflict and self-sabotage, a marked increase in motivation and persistence, more rapid progress towards your goals, and a greater sense of authenticity and purpose as your actions become a true reflection of your deepest aspirations. It's like ensuring every component of a high-performance engine is perfectly tuned and synchronized, allowing it to deliver its maximum power output efficiently and reliably. The first critical step in achieving goal mindset congruence is deep goal clarification and why discovery. It's not enough to have vague goals like be successful or get a promotion. You need to define your competitive goals with absolute clarity and precision. What exactly does success look like in tangible, measurable terms? What specific position or outcome are you aiming for? Equally important, if not more so, is to uncover the profound why behind each goal. What are the core values, passions, or purposes that this goal serves for you? Is it about impact, mastery, security, freedom, contribution, or something else? Write down your goals and the deep reasons they matter to you. For example, if your goal is to become a team leader, your why might be a desire to mentor others, to shape strategy, and to foster a positive work environment. This profound understanding of your why works because it provides a powerful intrinsic motivator that can sustain you through challenges and help you make decisions that are truly aligned with your deepest aspirations rather than superficial desires. It becomes the compass that guides your mindset alignment. Once your goals and their why are crystal clear, the next step is to conduct a mindset gap analysis for each key goal. This involves honestly assessing your current beliefs, thought patterns, and emotional tendencies in relation to that specific goal. Ask yourself, what are my current beliefs about my ability to achieve this goal? Do I believe I deserve it? What fears or anxieties surface when I think about pursuing this goal, e.g., fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment? What habitual thoughts or self-talk either support or undermine my progress towards this goal? For instance, if your goal is to launch your own business, a mindset gap might be a persistent thought like, I'm not experienced enough, or a fear of financial insecurity that paralyzes your decision-making. Identifying these gaps is crucial because they highlight the specific areas of your mindset that need rewiring to achieve congruence. This process works because it brings subconscious misalignments to conscious awareness, making them addressable. You can't fix a problem you don't know exists. With these gaps identified, the third phase is targeted belief work and mental rehearsal for goal alignment. For each limiting belief or unhelpful thought pattern identified in your gap analysis, you need to apply the belief challenging and rewiring techniques discussed in earlier chapters, but with a specific focus on aligning them with your goal. Challenge the evidence for the limiting belief. Formulate a new, empowering belief that directly supports your goal. For example, if the old belief is, I'm not a natural salesperson, and your goal requires strong sales skills, your new belief might be, I am learning and mastering the art of persuasive communication to achieve my sales targets. Then engage in regular mental rehearsal or visualization. Vividly imagine yourself successfully pursuing and achieving your goal, thinking, feeling, and acting in ways that are congruent with your new empowering beliefs and your desired outcome. See yourself overcoming challenges with this aligned mindset. This targeted belief work and mental rehearsal is effective because it actively reshapes your neural pathways to support your specific aspirations, making the desired mindset feel more natural and accessible when you're actually pursuing the goal. Finally, to solidify goal mindset congruence, focus on developing identity-based habits and behaviors. Your habits and daily actions are powerful reinforcers of your mindset and beliefs. Ask yourself, who is the kind of person that achieves this goal? What are their typical thoughts, habits, and behaviors? Then start consciously adopting those thoughts, habits, and behaviors yourself. This isn't about faking it till you make it in an inauthentic way. It's about being it to become it. If your goal is to be a thought leader in your industry, an identity-based habit might be to dedicate time each day to reading and synthesizing new research, and to consistently share your insights, even if you start small. Each time you act in accordance with the identity of someone who achieves your goal, you reinforce the aligned mindset. This works because your brain seeks consistency between your identity and your actions. By consistently acting as if you are already the person who has achieved the goal, you solidify the underlying beliefs and thought patterns that make that achievement inevitable. This fosters a deep internal alignment where your actions naturally flow from a mindset that is perfectly attuned to your objectives. Consider David, who had a goal to secure a major international client for his consulting firm, a goal that would significantly elevate his company's competitive standing. His why was to prove his firm could compete on a global scale and to provide exciting new opportunities for his team. His mindset gap analysis revealed a fear of being perceived as too small by international clients and a nagging thought that we might not be able to deliver at that level. He did targeted belief work, changing his belief to, "My firm offers unique, agile solutions that global clients value, and we are fully capable of exceeding their expectations." He mentally rehearsed successful meetings with potential international clients, visualizing himself confidently presenting his firm's value. He adopted identity-based habits. He started dressing and preparing for every meeting as if it were with a global CEO, and he proactively sought out opportunities to speak at international industry forums. This alignment led to increased confidence, more effective presentations, and eventually landing his first major international contract. Aligning your mindset with your goals is about creating a powerful internal synergy where every thought, belief, and emotion works in concert to propel you towards your desired competitive outcomes. It's about ensuring your inner world is a perfect launch pad for your outward ambitions. But with this immense power and alignment, how do you ensure this leads not just to achievement, but to a life of sustained thriving and ever-evolving advantage? Now that your mindset is fine-tuned and powerfully aligned with your most ambitious goals, creating an unstoppable internal engine for success, how do you ensure that this thought advantage translates into a life of sustained peak performance, continuous growth, and genuine fulfillment in all competitive arenas? The final chapter explores how to truly thrive with your newly architected mind. Remember to subscribe to Brainpower Blueprint, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 8. Thrive with Thought Advantage. Imagine a master artisan who has spent years honing their skills, acquiring the finest tools, and developing an intuitive understanding of their craft. They don't just create functional objects, they produce works of art that embody excellence, purpose, and a unique signature. Similarly, having journeyed through the intricate process of unlocking your thought power, challenging limiting patterns, embracing growth under pressure, building mental flexibility, strengthening focus and drive, mastering high-stakes thinking, and aligning your mindset with your goals, you are now poised not merely to compete, but to truly thrive. The thought advantage you've cultivated is more than a collection of mental techniques. It's a profound transformation in how you operate, perceive, and engage with the world. However, the final challenge many face after such a transformation is twofold. First, ensuring that this advantage isn't just a temporary peak, but a sustainable plateau of high performance and well-being. And second, fully leveraging this internal power to create a life that is not only successful by external measures, but also deeply fulfilling and impactful. The risk is viewing your rebooted mind as a finished product rather than a continuously evolving masterpiece, or failing to integrate its power holistically across all aspects of your life, thereby not fully realizing its potential to help you flourish. The ultimate solution is to embrace perpetual edge cultivation, a commitment to living a life where the continuous refinement and application of your thought advantage principles lead to sustained thriving, ongoing growth, and ever-expanding influence in your chosen competitive domains. This means viewing your mental mastery not as a destination reached, but as a dynamic, lifelong journey of learning, application, and evolution. The core idea is that thriving with your thought advantage involves consciously weaving these empowered ways of thinking into the very fabric of your being, making them the default operating system for how you approach new challenges, pursue opportunities, build relationships, and contribute to the world. The benefits are a life characterized by consistent peak performance, profound resilience, continuous personal and professional development, meaningful achievements, and a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment, the hallmarks of a life truly well-lived and competitively superior. It's like the master artisan who never stops learning, experimenting, and refining their craft, ensuring that each new creation surpasses the last in beauty and impact. A cornerstone of perpetual edge cultivation is an unwavering commitment to lifelong mental mastery and application. The principles and techniques you've learned are not static. They require ongoing practice, refinement, and adaptation as you and your circumstances evolve. Regularly revisit the core concepts. Continue to observe your thoughts, challenge any re-emerging limiting patterns, seek out pressure situations as growth opportunities, practice mental flexibility, hone your focus, sharpen your high-stakes thinking, and periodically realign your mindset with your evolving goals. Treat your mind like a high-performance athlete treats their body, with consistent training, proper nourishment of positive inputs, and strategic rest and recovery. For example, even as a seasoned leader, you might still dedicate time for mindfulness to maintain clarity, or actively seek out new learning experiences to keep your mental flexibility sharp. This dedication works because the mind, like a muscle, stays strong and grows through consistent, intentional use and challenge. It ensures your thought advantage doesn't dull over time but continues to sharpen. Thriving with your thought advantage also means proactively seeking new challenges and arenas for application. Comfort can be the enemy of growth and a blunter of competitive edges. With your enhanced mental capabilities, don't shy away from new challenges. Actively seek them out. Look for opportunities that will stretch your skills, test your resilience, and require you to apply your thought advantage in novel ways. This could be taking on a more complex role at work, venturing into a new industry, pursuing an ambitious personal project, or tackling a societal problem you care about. For instance, an executive who has mastered leading a national team might seek the challenge of an international assignment, requiring them to adapt their communication and leadership style, mental flexibility, and navigate new cultural pressures, growth under pressure. This proactive seeking of challenges works because it provides fresh stimuli for your mind, prevents complacency, and allows you to continuously discover new depths to your capabilities and new heights for your achievements, ensuring your competitive skills remain top tier. A powerful way to solidify your own mastery and contribute to a wider sphere of influence is by mentoring others and sharing your insights. Teaching and guiding others in developing their own mental effectiveness is one of the most effective ways to deepen your own understanding and internalize the principles you've learned. When you explain these concepts to someone else or help them navigate their own mental challenges, you are forced to clarify your own thinking and reinforce your own skills. This act of sharing also extends your thought advantage beyond yourself, creating a ripple effect of positive impact. For example, a successful entrepreneur who attributes their success to their resilient mindset might mentor aspiring business owners, helping them develop similar mental tools. This not only helps others, but also keeps the mentor's own principles fresh and actively engaged. This works because teaching reinforces learning at the deepest level and fosters a sense of purpose and contribution, which are key components of a thriving existence. Crucially, thriving requires balancing drive with well-being to sustain peak performance indefinitely. An unbridled drive, even powered by an advanced mindset, can lead to burnout if not tempered with self-awareness and practices that promote overall well-being. Your thought advantage should also be applied to managing your energy, recognizing your limits, and ensuring you have periods of rest, reflection, and rejuvenation. Use your self-awareness to notice early signs of stress or imbalance. Use your focus and discipline to prioritize activities that recharge you, whether it's exercise, time in nature, creative pursuits, or quality time with loved ones. A sustainable competitive edge is built on a foundation of holistic well-being, not on relentless, unsustainable effort. For example, a high-achieving professional uses their planning skills not just for work projects, but also to schedule regular mental health breaks or focused recovery periods after intense sprints. This is effective because a rested and balanced mind is a more powerful and resilient mind, capable of sustaining high performance over the long haul without sacrificing health or happiness. Consider a seasoned scientist, Dr. Evelyn Hayes, who has cultivated a profound thought advantage throughout her career. She maintains her lifelong mental mastery by constantly reading emerging research, even outside her immediate field, building flexibility, strengthening focus. She proactively seeks challenging research questions that others deem too difficult, applying her growth mindset and high-stakes thinking to navigate complex experiments. She mentors young researchers, sharing her strategies for overcoming intellectual hurdles and maintaining drive, reinforcing her own learning. Crucially, she balances her intense research periods with dedicated time for hiking and classical music, recognizing that these activities rejuvenate her mind and allow for creative insights. Her career is not just a series of achievements, but a testament to thriving, continuous innovation, impactful contributions, and sustained personal fulfillment, making her a true leader and a benchmark in her field. Thriving with your thought advantage is the ultimate expression of a mind rewired for competitive excellence and profound personal fulfillment. It is about creating a symphony between your internal mental capacities and your external actions and achievements, living a life that is not only marked by success but also by continuous growth, resilience, purpose, and a deep sense of well-being. This is not merely about winning in isolated instances, but about creating a trajectory of ever-increasing capability and contribution. The journey to cultivate this advantage is an ongoing one, a path of perpetual refinement and discovery. As you continue to apply these principles, your capacity to shape your reality, to overcome obstacles, and to achieve what truly matters to you will only expand, ensuring that your greatest achievements are always still ahead. This voyage into the architecture of your mind has equipped you with the understanding and the tools to forge an undeniable competitive edge. From unlocking the raw power of your thoughts and challenging anachronistic fixed mindsets, to embracing growth under immense pressure and cultivating daily mental flexibility. From strengthening your focus and drive to mastering high-stakes thinking and meticulously aligning your mindset with your most ambitious goals, you have laid the foundation for sustained peak performance. The essence of the thought advantage lies in its continuous application, in the daily, conscious choice to engage these principles. Remember, your mind is your most powerful asset in any competitive arena. Tend to it with diligence, challenge it with courage, and direct it with wisdom. The power to not only compete, but to truly thrive and lead is now more fully within your grasp than ever before. Thank you for investing your valuable time and attention in Thought Advantage, Rewire Your Mind for Competitive Edge. We trust that this journey has illuminated the profound power that resides within your own thinking and has provided you with practical, actionable strategies to cultivate a significant competitive advantage in all your endeavors. The path to mental mastery is ongoing, and every step you take to apply these principles will bring you closer to your fullest potential. We sincerely appreciate you being with us. If this audiobook has sparked new insights or motivated you to take action, please show your support by giving it a like, sharing your key takeaways or questions in the comments section below, and subscribing to Brainpower Blueprint for more content dedicated to helping you harness the power of your mind for extraordinary success.